the numbers are going down, our revenue is decreasing. As we start looking at it, transfers come across, administration costs, and we'll kind of go through this as we go, but you can see most of these are, we're 98%. We're expecting, to be a flat revenue budget, and so we had to make some cuts because expenditures, we are over expenditures of what we had planned. And so our expenditures have gone up, so we've had to make some cuts. And we'll break these further down as we go. If you have questions, ask. Now, right now, we are looking at, we're off, we had some numbers changed today. I have still got to pull this amount out somewhere because we're not a zero budget yet. Okay. Looking at our revenue, if we turn around and we jump into our funding, so if we look at what we take the average of what we've had for sales tax, and we multiply 12, we get $802,000. I drop the 2. We look at our 4.5 cents divided, gives so much percent, and then you can see how our numbers, 3 of it goes to one fund, 25 cents goes to another. These are numbers I just transferred out so that we can see how they move. Y'all probably aware that this is how the money gets divided up. 0.5 cent goes to our hospital fund. Fund 12, which is rec, streets, and general fund, gets a quarter, a half, and a half. Lake escrow gets 1, general fund gets 2 cents. Right, y'all are familiar with that. So these numbers get transferred, and that's where you're seeing this number out. Okay. So looking at transfer from that, this will be a revenue. The money comes in, it comes to us. That's a little bit less than what we had prior, but this is where our numbers are saying that we're going to be. Everybody's predicting that we're not going to see a big increase in sales tax. Okay. Transfer loan. This is one of them that you notice we changed it. We used to transfer everything in. It would come into general fund, go back out. Now we transfer it directly. We pay it directly out and transfer in and out. So that's why you see a zero budget here. This one though stays the same. We pay so much into the rec fund every year. That's that. Fire loan. This is our fire truck. It's about rounded it up, but it's the same amount we're paying for it. For several years till fire trucks come in. Our operating fund. This is basically kind of our slush fund. At one time, we drew $650,000 out 2 years ago because we were struggling. That's how we were behind. This year we've drawn out 125. I would like to keep that way. I'm not pulling as much from reserve, and that's why you're going to see we try to tighten this budget up quite a bit. Which is we're pulling out the same because I looked at what we did this year. We're close to the year. Looks like we're going to make it that pulling more. I'd like to not pull anymore. That allows us our money in reserves to build. Okay. Street project loan is paid for, or it's not paid. We transfer the way the money transfers. We're not going into general fund. It's going to pay directly. It's not going through it. This is a channel. It's being paid directly out of the bank account. And then our equipment loans. Our equipment loans have gone up because we bought some other equipment. And that's why you saw an increase there. Any questions on transfers? If I'm going too fast, let me know. Sales tax, you see we still look at our 3% is coming in, but remember 3% comes in, and then 1 cent goes right back out to another, so that's at 3%. Use sales tax, this increase is about a 2% increase, and these are estimate numbers of what we've paid for the last, we've got 2 months left, we know where we're at, and it looks like we're gonna have about a 2% increase, and that's a kind of across the board of where it came out to be. Looking at these three, which is sales tax, use tax, and franchise tax. The others, if you look at where we're at today, they work. There's not much change. It's a few difference a little bit, but we just ran it, just kind of create some buffers. Okay. Any of you want to look at? Now, you notice grants, we did put grants, but we've kind of looked at an average over several years of our grants, and I'll put that in. We know we're gonna get some, if I put it at zero, then it's hard to balance the budget. Hopefully our grants will carry this out. Golf courses, you know, one of those people said, well, why is we spend so much money on the golf course? But golf course projected right now is gonna be, we'll have a revenue of a little over 325, which is good, so it's like, you know, you notice a few years ago it was 292, they have worked on, we're getting a bigger revenue. So hopefully it will beat the 325. Water park, same thing, you know, what we did a few years ago was projected, we projected somewhere in the middle. I'm not too sure, it's a little bit lower, but last year the pool opened later, we didn't have the revenue, hopefully it comes in this year. We do notice a decline in our water park. I think too many other cities now have
Splash pads.
Yeah, and so we're not getting the people that we used to get. Down the road, we need to look, what can we do to draw some of them in?
Tell you one of the things about, so my kids, I don't know what year we built that pool, 10 years ago? At least. My kids pregnant, count on one hand. But now they're big. The local kids don't go. It's all out there.
Well,
Your kids
I'm not gonna disagree with that. We're gonna find out when we do Pleasure to See. Because I do think that some of them, we need, if we find out we need to start marketing that
We need to
more.
figure out some way to get people litter to go. I mean,
Event things, I think, like event things, have a pool, you know what I mean, movie night.
Right.
I mean, that brings people in.
And that's some of the things, y'all know this better than I do, the people, but those are things we do. We need to attract it, because this number needs to come up.
Trevor, do you take your kids?
Maybe once or twice a year.
There you go. So I'm saying it's really weird. I mean, we had a pool at the park my whole childhood. I was a lifeguard. I mean, man, we lived that sucker. We were there all the time. And
So why are our local kids not going?
well, for one thing, we would go to the pool when we were working there. When I was working, I was just a kid. I'd go 5 or 6 days a week. When you go out there 5 or 6 days a week, that's a $500 a month habit. This is. I mean,
Well, and back then, your friends were there too, so you were socializing.
Right. Okay, so let's, I mean, this is a little off topic here, but do you think it's cost?
dude,
I don't know, when my grandkids were younger, they were there, they come for 2 weeks every summer. We were there almost every time.
If they're here on vacation.
You're correct, but that was a unique experience. They live in Austin, they don't go to pools down there. They go to buddies, friends' pools, even at that age. But that was a unique
but,
experience.
so it's not a big deal if they come in and they go once or twice a summer. It's not, the price is great.
But
It's
regular,
really cheap.
They can try to take the slurry on down there by Austin.
When they grew up.
Yeah.
$100 a day or whatever. But if it's your local and you want to go all the time, like what's it cost to go to the Weaver? Yeah, it is
It's not
a
open.
couple bucks.
$8, that's just a guess.
So-
Oh, it wasn't.
So my question is, so what if we did for
You
local,
almost have to have two prices. You almost have to have a local price.
or we do a season, not season pass, but then that's why I'm asking, if that's something to look at, because, you know, this number needs to come up.
or a reduction if you have, well, I don't think they already do this, a reduction in that if you have like a rec membership, you know, like they do for athletics.
Or we go so many times
It
and then
doesn't
you
cost
get
A discount.
a discount.
So like
You make all the money on the concession. You know, it doesn't cost. I mean, those lifeguards are there. Whether you got 100 kids in there or 50 kids in there or
Oh,
150 kids,
And that's
their
our-
lifeguards are there.
Yeah.
And so,
And that's why I'm asking, if
So
we
by
think it's
letting-
costing, we need to make some
so,
adjustments.
so
I have to
maybe
get this
some
number.
Cokes and candy bars and hot dogs and what, I mean, that's.
You know, we talked the other day, like, if somebody, you know, I don't wanna run a snow cone machine in the field, but if someone wanted to park a snow cone trailer outside the park, or outside the pool,
Sure.
man, we'd do that in a second.
So those want, you really want ice cream.
Yeah, But that
And
is true, when my grades went, I mean, I don't know how much money we spent at the concession stand.
Yeah.
And you can't have it over by the pool, you gotta go sit and eat it, but They were there a couple hours, they're kids. They
Right,
want
and
fun.
we're getting ready to put, we're buying more of those, the bicycle racks to fence off an area so that we're gonna force people to stay in concession areas so they're not taking the
Yeah.
food. Because it's, every time they get the food, it causes problems, you know, it costs us harder, it's harder to clean, harder to maintain. So we're gonna build that, but that's something to look at, that's all I want to hear. Okay, of course, you know, both pools closed,
Any more talk to this school at all about that?
they don't, they would like it, but they don't really, they don't see that, they're afraid it's gonna cost so much to bring it back. You know,
Well, and people
now, there
post-
was a conversation that came into my office the other day, might be an opportunity, we'll have to pursue, see what that comes out. But it didn't have to do with the school, they do another entity in our area. But we don't know where that plays out now.
You certainly wanna go to the school and say, look, we got somebody else that's interested in these, the school needs to have it. We hate to go, you understand, Sterling?
It makes sense, that's why we put it to the school, it makes sense to have it for the school, it's there. Fill it in, don't keep it as a pool, fill it in and turn it
Like
into
a gym,
a
they always scream about practice space, basketball gym space, they'll fill in concrete in, make the gym.
That's why I said, fill it in the gym, turn it into a wrestling room or an activity, cheerleader room, whatever, I mean.
Well, I can't do Tai Chi in the winter where I used to do Tai Chi because of basketball games. And that's okay, I just roll with it. But it didn't used to be that way, because I've been doing Tai Chi for about 10 years.
For a long time.
It's only been the last couple that
I'm gonna
I
say,
can't do Tai Chi.
from that standpoint, there are things that I'm not too sure we should not, as a city, talk to our rec center and schools to say, because as a rec center, I don't mind if the schools use it, but I'm not too sure the schools should be pushing classes out of our rec center.
What do they do?
What
Well, like you're saying, you
Well,
don't
I
do
can't do Tai Chi in the gym where that's where I learned how to do Tai Chi. I've been doing it for 10 years now. I cannot do it in the winter where I'm used to doing it because they're playing basketball. That's okay, I still go find me a corner and do it there, but.
But you know, those are the things that.
So
that's
what is our school use fee? And that's something I don't need to know tonight, Joe, but
I couldn't tell you offhand.
What?
It's $30-something thousand a year.
and
And others have
we need to figure out what all they use for that amount of stuff. How much do they use the golf course? How much do they use the rec center,
It would pay,
et cetera, et
they,
cetera.
what they pay would basically cover their golf fees.
Well, what, we're digressing.
Yeah.
Well, I said, we don't need to talk about tonight, but
But
you're
those are the things we do.
How is the baseball field an issue? The big field is an issue.
Because that's some of the things, because if that's the thing, our whole thing, we go through this, we have to increase revenue. And sales tax isn't going up until something happens in our community. So I've got to find revenue somewhere else.
It's not our community, it's our state and our nation.
Nation.
Right, but you know,
Just
but
nation.
our community, we only have so much sales tax. We don't see a big increase. We did not, we've seen that little bit, but our expenses are exceeding our revenues. Especially so, we've got to find revenue from other places, so that could be areas that could be revenue. All right, moving forward, we did see a increase in our revenue for, animal shelter. And we're talking about, we're having more money coming into the animal shelter, mainly because of fees and so forth, where they're processing 1,000 animals a month.
It's crazy.
You're seeing a big increase, so we're seeing a little increase there. Library, we're seeing a smaller, we're seeing less revenue into the library. And I couldn't tell you, we're still getting stuff as far as, as the
Still doing passports, still
passports
doing.
and those things. But I guess fewer people are traveling with passports, so you don't see the revenue.
I've had great reviews from people about how great it is to have the passport capabilities there.
Oh, I'm not disagreeing, like,
It's been a great deal.
my thing, like, both my kids had to go get passports when they were in college. And you go to a big city, it's a pain. It's nice having, I'm not saying it's just that.
Yeah.
That's, the library, the revenue is not where it was, it's gone down a little bit. It could come back up. I'm not saying there's not much we can do about it.
But they're a library, you know, they're not supposed to be making a ton
No,
of money,
no.
but any money they bring in is
But-
great.
Right, I just wanna say that when you look and you see why is there a small number, why is it's less?
Yeah.
Same as like when you see a big number.
They don't write as many grants.
Okay, fire department special fund, basically, you know, this, we changed that into its own fund. So you're not gonna see this as a revenue to us anymore, it's not coming in. But if it came in, it went right back out, so we basically take it out of our budget. It gets deposited directly into their fund. Still managed, has to be approved through council, but it's not coming in and out. This is just trying to clean this up so we can see money coming in, it's easier to track. Interest income, I'm looking to see an interest income where we have money in the bank, interests are moved up a little bit, we're gonna move through it. We're also looking at maybe doing a sweep account. You understand? Does everybody know what a sweep account is? Y'all all do, that's good, because I wasn't too sure, somebody had to explain it to me to make sure. But the sweep account may increase some of our revenues. We have some of our account is sitting there drawing small interest because it's sitting there, we want access to it. But I guess the sweep account will let us draw a little bit more.
You set a target balance
Yeah,
on one account, anytime it's over, say $100,000, it sweeps it to the high yielding account,
right,
and then the balance gets so low, it
it
sweeps
swoops
back.
back, and it gives us a higher interest, so we're hoping, Kyra's working pretty diligently on it, so we're hoping that we will see a bigger increase. And it'd be nice to see a bigger increase than this. Miscellaneous, it's kind of a standard when I talk to Kyra, she says, put the 10, 1 year, you know, a year ago we had 49, but she said, you can't plan on 49, you know. If you look over the years, you know, the prior year to this was something like $800. So it goes up and down depending on what else is coming in. Police, you know, the miscellaneous police revenue, a year ago was 13,000, but it's projected was right at 6, so we just kept it at the 6. It could go up or it could come down, but it's again, something that's not, it's miscellaneous, depends on what they get and so forth. And then a lot of that gets moved over into their special fund anyway. Insurance proceeds, you know, we know we're gonna get it, so we put it in there. I don't want to depend on expecting $100,000, even though this year we're gonna exceed that. We kind of just chose a number and said that's what we're gonna look at. SRO, which is our resource officer at the school. If you notice this last year, we had it budgeted at 52. A proposal has been presented to us.
It's a little premature, but
You want to talk about it a little more?
we're potentially gonna add to the school resource officer program, but it's a little premature to say what we want to.
Maybe we've had two. And notice it's not double because the cost is being absorbed through another fund. That's not the city. We're only having to pay part of this. And then we have another way to help cover this cost.
So, can I ask a theoretical question? So in theory, we might have one officer that's placed in one spot all the time, and then the other one might be a floater,
No,
or no decision
we
making,
have four buildings, so they would still move
still
across.
float. Thank you for that clarification.
And I will tell you, I told you at the start, I said I'm off 13. You know, Don brought this to me yesterday. So that's why we've been trying to get this, but this change, this is other entities are involved, so it's why it's still early, but we're trying to get it in our budget so that we're there. So that will be a good thing, and especially with what's going on, it's benefit. And we're not absorbing an entire cost. If you notice, we're going from 52 to 85 with another full-time officer. That means we're changing quite a bit. Tourism doesn't change. You notice though there's a new line here. We talked about our enterprise lease program buyback. We basically put in that even though it's a larger revenue, I put it in, we're gonna put in 100,000 this year because That's what I plan to spend on the vehicles this year. There'll be some of it put aside next year, and then we start building to start trying to manage those vehicles as we replace them over the next 5 years. If I put the total amount in, then, well, I got a lot of money to spend. I don't wanna put it, some of that money will go back into the bank. This is what we're looking at, will come right back out to cover the vehicles for this next year for replacement. Okay, give us a total revenue of 89, which is less than the current 98%, but that revenue is going to, we've got a balance to it because I don't know, we're gonna spend money here and there. Expenditures, again, transfer, because we brought in 3 cents, we transfer 1 cent out automatically. And then you see the other transfers, the equipment fund, beautification comes in and so forth. We took out Fund 29, which is Okey-Doodle. So, the city's no longer putting any money towards Okey-Doodle. It will come out of tourism or it will be self-sufficient. It's just tourism, we gotta make it work. We don't wanna kill it, but we can't afford to I can't afford to turn around and put $75,000 in Okey-Doodle. It's affecting our budgets other places.
She's got a nice festival planned.
We have a plan and it'll be close. And hopefully we will change our plan, we'll build, and then we'll build and become self-sufficient. That's what we want to do. Okay, so then we can start breaking down into administration. You can see most of our costs for salaries. Our salaries are coming in about a little bit below where we were. This is our current budget, this is our planned budget. So we're a little bit below, and that's to meet our revenues. Most of these, you'll see, some of these we've had to take from certain areas because we want to build in others, but then there will be, as we go through, you'll see some of these numbers go up instead of down. Do we want line by line, or do we want good enough? Okay, if you have something, ask questions. Cleat, if you notice, court cleat is a fixed expense and they went up, and so you see the expense. I'll try to hit the high notes. Employee activities, city funds. This is one that it's been typically an employee activity. As you notice, it's sitting here. I want to change where it's city manager fund, where I have a little discrepancy that we can move money back and forth or spend things as we need just to cover certain areas that we need to cover. That's why that number went up quite a bit. Insurance and building, if you notice, our building insurance and vehicle insurance went up about, really right at 30% this year. Yeah. And it's actually hit us pretty hard because it went up. January, February.
Is that not just in that area, but all across the city buildings?
Oh, yeah, so we buy our insurance through OA, so all of our insurance went up 30%. So all vehicle and building insurance went up 30%. And that wasn't just us, that was statewide. OMEG, and we've actually shopped some other insurance companies. It's hard to beat OMEG. OMEG is, it gets supplemented a little bit by the state. It's hard to beat them. But they haven't done it for a while, and they finally said, well, it hit across the board. They raised everybody. Not everybody got an amount depending on where you were, but everybody got a big hit this year. Statewide through OMEG.
Personally, I got big hits, so that's right.
And I think everybody, my insurance went up, but I'm coming from other states, so it could have gone up. I don't know how to compare it, but, audit went up. Basically, we talked about that before. Our audit did go up quite a bit. If you notice, last year our audit went pretty high, and that is because we had problems. We're still trying to deal with the mess, and some of that's why it went up again this time.
And that's audit alone, that's not any other city functions, correct?
That's just
Clerking, just audit alone.
just audit. Okay. Make sure we're on time when we get ready to start. I don't know how fast we'll get through it.
You think you get through the whole thing today?
Right. Yeah, I won't get the whole thing. I was hoping to get through half of it, and then we'll move the city, and then we'll maybe get the others. Cell phones went up because we moved to cell phones. We also went to 5G. with, we got rid of the internet, so our cell phones went up because we now went to 5G towers every location. When we got rid of the stuff that used to be on our water tower, where we're bouncing signal, that changed, that had to go up. Debt service, we're looking at a new truck. This truck will somehow, I put it here, but it will move some of the city. You'll see we have several new vehicles being used to start replacing some of our worn out ones. That's why you see such a big increase here.
Through the fleet program.
Through the fleet program, and that is counter offsetting that 100,000 you saw from above. So there's a truck there. If we go down to police, you're going to see an increase on here. This increase is, right now we're looking at 2 officers. Possibly this includes that 3rd officer that's coming in as the resource officer. So you see an increase, but we're increasing their police force by at least 2, possibly 3, but this includes all 3. Okay, that's why you see a big increase in physicals. We're bringing in more officers. You typically had a small number. Now we have to have more. Everyone that we bring is a physical, and they're $1,300 a piece. It adds up.
$1,300 for a physical.
There's 2 parts to it. Pension physical's one and MMPI is the other.
Who's performing?
It's a statutory mandate, you can't get away from it.
No, I mean, but who, is it just a local physician?
No, they have to go to Oklahoma City. It's for the police pension, so there's a certain doctor that has to do it.
And we also have it falls under the fire department too, and I know they have to go to Oklahoma City for it as well. Okay. I don't know why our porta potty rental went up. They just.
It's 6 o'clock.
Okay. All right.
You got a motion to adjourn
I said,
in a second.
Probably moved to second to adjourn. Vice Mayor Meisel,
Yes.
who's second? Councilman Ritchie, Councilman Marshall,
Yes.
Councilman Grimmett,
Yes.
Mayor Rushing.
I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the city of Pauls Valley. If you'll stand and join us in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Gracious Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight with thanks and praise for the many blessings of this day. We thank you for this opportunity to serve our citizens. We thank you for those who have come to join us in this meeting. We ask that you give us wisdom, courage, and integrity as we make the decisions before us tonight. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Chance if you'll reflect our roll call. Item 5, approval of the consent agenda, items A through C.
Move for approval of the consent agenda, items A through C.
Second.
Probably moved and seconded to approve action item number 5. Councilman Marshall,
Yes.
Councilman Grimmett,
Yes.
Councilwoman Ritchie,
yes.
Vice Mayor Meisel,
Yes.
Mayor Rushing.
Yes. Item 6, consideration of board appointments with possible action. I do not have any on tonight. Item 7, consideration of an address by Tyler Johnson regarding the Pauls Valley Disc Golf Course with possible action.
Good evening, my name is Tyler Johnson, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you guys. I'm here regarding the Flightline Disc Golf Course. I've prepared a brief proposal I'd like to hand each one of you, if that's okay.
Thank you very much.
So the course is, the flatline disc golf course is still playable, but the main issue has been inconsistent maintenance and keeping up with the grass, keeping it mowed down, which has made it difficult to use regularly through the years and discourages people from playing. Instead of seeing the course removed, I wanted to offer a solution. Over the past few weeks, I saw a post in Stratford City Facebook group talking about buying the baskets and from Falls Valley. I've been reaching out locally and already have support from community members willing to help maintain the course. That includes volunteers and access to equipment like riding mowers, brush hogs, weed eaters. This wouldn't require any cost to the city, as myself and the community are prepared to take responsibility for maintaining it ourselves. I've been playing disc golf seriously since 2014. I've been a part of many efforts to improve and maintain courses before. I'm involved with the Seminole County Disc Golf Association, where we helped reclaim Johns Park and rebuild the disc golf course there after the tornado hit and destroyed that area. Turning it back more into a family-friendly space and a place where we hold yearly free seminars for children in the area. I've also helped adjust course layouts like the Miccosukee Mission, which is also over in Seminole, to make sure the course works alongside their plans to expand their sporting complex. So we're able to compromise and collaborate and work together to make that be able to be efficient and stay there. So this isn't something new to me. I understand what it takes, and I'm ready to take that on here as well. Disc golf is a low-cost, family-friendly, and low-impact activity that brings all people of all ages together. It also has the potential to bring more activity and business to Falls Valley through weekly play, local events, and section events. What I'm asking is simple, and before any decision is made to remove or sell the baskets, give us, the community, an opportunity to prove that we can maintain this course. Even if that's just a trial period, we're ready to step up and show that this course can be sustained by the community. Disc golf has a way of building strong communities, and I'd like the opportunity to help build that here. I appreciate your time and opportunity to present this.
Okay, let me fill a little space in.
I've never heard anything about it, so.
Okay,
It's been established since 2003.
all right, let me tell you a little bit about the thing. So a month ago, well, more than a month ago, I was approached, a person came and approached me, said, would we like to do something with the course? It didn't go anywhere, and then about a month ago, he approached me again, and he said, would we be interested in selling it? And I told him at that time, I said, he needs to put a presentation together to bring to you. The next day, Tyler sees it on Facebook, which came out of that person, and he was supposed to come to present you what to do with it. And I guess he put it out on Facebook saying that, we're gonna get rid of it, they were gonna buy it, whatever. That was, my thing is he had to bring a presentation. I wasn't telling you we were doing it or not, to see what they were going to do. I don't have an objection to us keeping it, but if someone comes and wants us to buy the materials when we weren't using it, that's something to look at.
I don't know, not as golf course it is, Tyler. Where is
It's
this?
right there by the airport. So the main thing that's been recognized throughout the years, why it hasn't been utilized so much, because when it first got installed, you got businesses like Walmart distribution centers name out there. There's a lot of businesses that actually have those granite stones. They used to be part of the ball golf course, but they shored the ball golf course and they left it on that side. They brought in a really top tier course designer. His name's John Cook. He has designed disc golf courses all throughout the U.S. and overseas in Europe. So he's out in California, but he designs great disc golf courses. I think we as a community, because we've been told that many times we don't know who's supposed to maintain it, who's supposed to mow the grass. I noticed that they've been baling hay out there in the past. The grass gets like 7 feet tall. So this really turns away players. It's such a great course, it's open, so like it's really good for beginners, advanced, and professional players.
So how big is that?
So Matt,
The course is 18 holes.
Okay.
So I can pull up the stats on
No, that's
right
okay.
now and tell you the
You're educating me. I
So-
appreciate it.
So how that came to existence was Matt, Karen Brown, two local doctors here, were big disc golf players, and they're the ones that took it on, got into designing. I knew it was fairly well done if we just maintain it.
Yeah,
As
it's
far as the
beautiful.
layout and the granite.
I still don't know.
So it's not been
Even-
currently maintained by
So those
The grass has been mowed recently, but it's starting to get tall now, and I would like to propose to help maintain that course so that we can draw in more attention. I could get local community more disc golf events going on up here, teach the local kids this. We have the Wynnewood Scout Troop 79, they're interested in coming out and assisting too. So I would really think this is something that could even
No.
something that could even move into the schools where we could educate a golf team, get that from elementary all the way to high school.
So I'm gonna expose my ignorance further than I have been. So it's like frisbee?
Yeah, that is a like.
You use that term because it's a.
You're right.
Yes, that's
Just so I can.
So it's the same kind of.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you for sharing.
But
Like,
it changed just because now they've better differently, so.
He's a good teacher if you guys wanna come out and try it.
Yeah, I have plenty of this too. So.
If I had it tonight, I'd 73 acre. But I do.
Yeah, that's exponential.
Hey,
Yeah,
Jay,
yeah.
with them doing that, is there any liability
That's
if
the only
they're
problem.
That's
maintaining? Yeah, I think we're all for it, but is there any liability issues for us if they're helping maintain it, but they're not city workers?
Sign
Waivers, I would be willing to sign waivers and have people.
Are you talking about liability to the people doing the work or liability? to
Liability to
the
the
work
people.
they do?
He's bit by rattlesnake while he's mowing the disc golf course. Or we,
Well, only if the city was negligent. A rattlesnake's not,
I understand, you get my drift.
yeah, they're not gonna be.
So
Just trying to ask a good
if
question.
they take the mower, if they take the mower out there and they drive it off in the creek, that's on them, not us.
It's not workers' comp, because they're not employed.
So it's something you think we could move into without too much
We could
headache?
contract with them to do that.
And I will
bring it.
Federal contract.
Tyler's correct, there are a lot of disc golf courses in the area that are maintained through their clubs. That the cities are city owned, but the city doesn't maintain them, the clubs maintain them. Because it's a cost that cities can't really.
We're all for it.
Thank you.
So bring us up.
And appreciate you coming in, sort of like, step forward and do something to citizen.
Yeah, well, I love these schools, and I love disc golf, and Andy, really sad to think, I've seen a post on Facebook that we could possibly be losing our disc golf.
Well, there's not any truth to it, so.
Well, and Tom just looks like I said, when I told him to bring a presentation, almost immediately he put out, and all of a sudden you're inquiring.
So thank you,
It
Tom.
never went,
Coming
it never
with
got
the
far enough to get that far.
presentation.
And I'm also curious, is this in the master plan of the parks, this disc course?
I don't think so.
No, I don't believe it.
Could be.
It's pretty neat.
It's
It's
A lot of room
beautiful.
out there.
Yeah.
So
It's,
it's just been a forgotten gem.
I believe so. It used to be a really big thing in the community when it first got established. It was filled up almost every day, but as maintenance waned on it, it lost its popularity.
It's part of the
Well, the Browns,
Right.
back there,
Exactly.
they were the ones who.
And so I think with this course and Elmore City's course and Purcell, and they talk about Oakland and Stratford as well, we could actually have big disc golf events just in this local
Yeah,
area.
every weekend you could do something.
And there's still a group from Elmore City that comes out and plays
Yes,
it
they do.
often, so.
Even now?
Yes.
Do you play? Yeah.
So this seems like an easy fix, right?
so, let me ask you, Connor, do you have it on your phone where you can play, there's, I know there's a disc course, you get on your phone, you can see who plays and scores and different things, right?
Yes. It's called UDisc, is the app.
I was educated the other day with this, I don't know if Tyler had it, and it tells you how many people have played our course and put in, because they can compete with each other. On
Yeah,
how
so it
many
doesn't
people
mean
play.
any like
I'll-
same
Cause you
day,
put it on your phone,
day by
you put
day.
your score on the phone, and then everybody can see. And he, Tyler was probably more about it than I did.
Yes, and it tracks logistics, like, I don't know who has ownership of the course to like share that information with you guys. But I can find that out through UDisc and they can let me utilize that so I can track that information and share it with you guys.
So the
So I can just pinpoint the exact time when the course started having grasses too tall, all that stuff, and I can point that out before it happened. When I was doing my own personal research, it looked like 5 years ago is when it really was impacted, but there was notes before that stating that, hey, the grass is too tall, we can't play today, you're gonna lose this, don't go out there and play. So there's just, because we leave notes on there, you can comment on, how well the course is maintained, who the facilities that are available, stuff like that.
So
So the
just,
city owns the land.
It's city land, it's originally, it was part of the original golf.
It was originally, it was part of the first 3 holes of the golf course, the best holes of the course, but when they expanded the runway, went from 4,000 feet to 5,000 feet, they had they had to move those 3 holes. Actually 4 holes, actually 4 best holes in the whole
Yeah, we still use a couple of those keypads on these.
Screwed up.
But it wouldn't
So-
affect,
So
No,
we're
please go,
really
we
just
keep trying to go
following
to that, it doesn't affect us.
Yeah.
You know,
There's
I
never
think
any
you
change,
do.
it's on both sides of the keypad placement, that's what
on
we
both
want.
sides.
But it
Just
really
getting with
needs
the
to
original
fall
designer
under
and see
the
what he likes to do as well, so we
Essentially,
maintain the
creates an
integrity of the
association
course.
that uses their peers.
Well, it's listed as, but it's just time and cost to keep it mowed. You know, we can barely keep our cars mowed down, and I don't know if that's time.
yeah, you gotta brush off every week.
For the disc golf course out there, I'm not sure on the acreage, I can give you the footage just from all the holes combined.
Yeah, I agree.
That's not, but we gotta mow the whole thing, so.
Right.
Because right now, we
Right, but
barely,
it's city owned
mow,
land that we should be maintaining anyway.
you
Well, it's
know,
pasture.
well, we do maintain for right now, but Craig cuts hay off of it.
Yeah,
You
I was
know.
gonna say, he said he could, they couldn't hang
And
it.
then the
It
revenue.
needs to
That's
be used
That's not
for
part
what
of
it was designed for. And I appreciate you coming and offering.
So more to come, I think,
I'm
Tyler.
not just, I just know he's cutting hay off of it, that's what he did last year, so.
Who's doing the hangout, Jesse? Or,
No, I don't know who cuts it for, somebody cuts it for, you know, for Craig, because that's how Craig uses it as part of his revenue for his airport.
but that part, that disc golf
Was
was
not.
not part of the original.
I'm not just, I'm just saying that's who's cutting, that's
I'd
what,
rather have a golf course than baling hay.
I would too.
you know.
I think.
Joe, I'm just wondering if we could table this time and come back with more information about
Yeah,
how
that's
the
up to
city
you.
needs to maintain it, how we can work with their group.
To do
I
it.
appreciate it,
Because
Totally
Yeah.
support.
this is,
Thank
Yeah,
you
thank you,
for,
Tyler.
thank you guys. Who would I need to follow up with?
You come talk to me,
Yes, sir. What was your name?
Joe Livingston.
Joe Livingston, Tyler Johnson, nice to meet you.
do you want a motion to table or
Yeah,
just?
you'll have to, if you're at the table.
I will so move.
A second.
Probably move to second to table the motion for action item number 7. Vice Mayor Meisel,
Yes.
Councilwoman Ritchie,
Yes.
Councilman Norshall,
Yes.
Councilman Grimmett, Mayor Rushing.
yes.
Thank you
sir.
guys so much for your time, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hidden gem that I didn't know we had.
I know it's beautiful out there.
I don't have to chase down the cut the grass.
We don't wanna be stepping on any rats' things, do we?
Item 8, consideration of an executive session for discussion of employment, hiring, appointment, promotion, demotion, discipline, or resignation of any individual, salaried public officer or employee as authorized by 25 Oklahoma Statute 307B.
So we do have something to discuss, but I don't know if we can we move that to PBMA side?
Yeah, I'll just give you that.
Okay. So we didn't have I don't have that on that item.
Oh, you don't have the executive session?
On that one.
So we gotta go here or not.
Well, you can table that or just not take any action now, just not close out this meeting and then come back after you've done
And that's
this.
what they were on in there discussing all those people, I didn't finish this second part of this meeting, so.
So just do it.
Since there's only like 2 of the items on this PBMA side, I don't want to have someone that's sitting waiting
For 2 items.
for 2 items, yeah.
Okay, you do that, just come back to it.
Okay. So how do you do this?
It doesn't
No,
require, we're just gonna defer it for now, you move on to item 9
Okay.
or item 10.
New business.
Item 11.
11, yeah.
Item 11, new business.
No other new business.
I'd like to welcome our visitors. Thank you for the information. Appreciate it and your concern.
We can just adjourn the PBMA.
That's the 13, 14.
Well, 13, yeah, so you got to make that.
City manager comments?
Not a lot going on, just updates, got the water line put in, finished it up, looks good. We had a break afterwards, but that looks really doing well. We've got some other projects that are underway. Seeing a lot of improvements, we're doing a lot of things with our water. Doing some street projects as well. We've also looking at finishing up, stuff at the lake. We've done some work out there at the old Girl Scout Pavilion. We're getting ready to try to make improvements on that road. Just, like I said, that's, there's other little things, but we will get into those down as we go. Right now, it's, budget is primary, so. No other comments other than that.
Item 14, city attorney comments,
No comments?
city council comments.
Speaking of, is there any movement on
And so,
no, not the land sale, but
The spillway.
spillway?
So spillway is there. It has been allocated, but it's held up in, well, not in appropriation approved it, but it's holding up because it for us, it went through, the HUD program. They're the ones holding it up. I mean, they don't move real fast at all.
we just don't
Why
have
it went
access to the
through
money.
that, I have no idea.
Would you like to share with them the good news we got from
Okay,
Amber Savage this week?
so early on with Representative Mullins, we put in a request for funding for a couple projects. And we put them in and we got it in right at the deadline, and then all of a sudden, he left. And I received the project back saying it was basically, it was not moving forward. Nothing was gonna move forward. It was all basically being sent back. Amber Savage reported the other day that the new guy, and Tom Cole and the new guy want to push that through, so we are resubmitting that information. She said, I'm trying to push it through, so that everything that went through, that was presented to them the first time, they're gonna try to push back through. So there's a good chance that we may receive some other funding for that.
I saw her at a meeting this week and she said that the new senator is Armstrong and that he's agreed to advance, and Tom Cole, if he can get it through the Senate, Tom Cole will sponsor the House. So
So-
it's for Joe's project.
Right, so, right, and they're not, they're still all through, but we were just one of those.
Which project?
We were one of those in it that fell into it.
Which project was it?
So we presented two because it felt, they had certain areas that were strong points. We presented two projects. Okay, one of them was to restore the bridge. The Walnut Bridge, so that we could go back and get the truck route and get them off this street. We presented that one, and then we presented one because it had to do with, because most of his area was in transportation or storm drain. And then presented a project to redo the storm drain on the other side of the railroad tracks. Part of that storm drain on the other side of the railroad track, that the street is collapsed, it's collapsed. But we're there until we have the kind of funds to do it, because it's storm drain, it has to go through, it likes to go through Corps of Engineers to do it. So we presented those two projects. Now, they will probably choose one or the other, or they still could deny, we don't know. We presented a engineering project plan for the bridge that was several years old. So they may say we're gonna have something new. At the time, we were trying to get it in their deadline, and we didn't have the funds to have an engineer to redesign. So we took an old design and just kind of did a multiplier, put it in there. And that was fine with them, but we don't know where that will go. The other one we put in as a project, they will have to tie into Corps of Engineers. I don't know how that will go. Probably depends on how Armstrong, where his expertise falls and what does he want to push through. Does that make sense? Now Mullins they were tied, everyone seemed to have an area that they're really strong into. And those are the two projects that kind of fall under that area. That's why we put those in. Well aware of the bridge, it would be nice, get trucks out of here, put them back on that. Now that bridge may not come in, we said secondary to that project, instead of crossing and repairing the bridge, we're doing the work there on the other side of Homeland and take Walnut Street and build here a curved road, but that means we're gonna have to acquire more land.
Traffic circles.
And- Well, if you're gonna do trucks, they're not gonna want to, you won't do it trucks, if it's gonna be a truck route, they won't do a traffic circle.
If they'll find it, I'm good with whatever they'll find.
And that's what we put in, we just gotta see what will go through and what they fall into. Again, we were not quite shovel ready, but we put in what we can get, because then if they'll help us to get shovel ready, we'll do it. There are some drawbacks about the bridge, the angle of it. We're also aware that on the other side of where, because of the cemetery, when we look at the original plan from that engineering plan, it called to actually move the bridge and move it 50 feet to the west. Doing that puts you in the middle of that cemetery. I don't know if we could ever touch that cemetery.
No.
Which means we don't know would they
Take it down and we're just rebuilding,
take it and rebuild on that location because you have to do so much.
because we have another.
Right.
to
Well,
do.
the old Zeus garage is there in a low spot. I can't speak for Garvin County, it's probably viable, I would think. Partly, I mean, so to me, it seems like I ain't looking, I have to go through the cemetery, but to me.
Well,
Because it doesn't seem.
it's the fact that they have to move it
Yeah.
because they don't want it. And I'm looking at the engineering plan that they did, and it was probably 8 years old when they did that engineering plan. Their plan was because they said the cost of digging out that foundation, because it's been would be so extensive, it would be cheaper to move it. And they can't move it to the east,
The shopping mall.
because the shopping mall, they'll move to the west.
So I still don't understand if you move to the west, why have to get a cemetery? That's a long way. Just angle the road
If-
back.
But that's what, I'm not disagreeing, that's what the engineering plan said, move the whole thing, which, if you look at the map, it's the cemetery.
Nick Richardson owns the land between the bridge and the cemetery.
And if you turn it, that's, like right now, it turns, if you go into it, you turn, you kind of go that way, you actually straighten the bridge. And, keep this side where it's at, move the other side straight where you're not at an offset angle. You might be able to come in, but that means you're gonna lose some of those buildings right there. There's an option now, it's just to see what will go through
Well,
it.
you can't go to the east. It's gotta go to the west.
It's gotta go to the west.
So we gotta get the money first, so.
And, and that's the
the
thing,
important step.
if they come in and do it, it'll all have to come back, and they'll go back to engineering and all that. And then that's where we start looking at appropriation and all that. So those are the two projects, if they push them back through, but, we contact them, she's gonna have to resubmit and all that. It's just the fact that stuff that was submitted once, they resubmit, that we reevaluate, and maybe push through. But it is good news, because at first it was,
So look
when it
at
first came back, we were like, well, you're out of luck, no matter what. So,
I thought it was encouraging that she approached us and said resubmit.
Amber's, although not all Amber, she is working hard to help us and get things done.
she's from Stratford.
Yeah, she lives in Stra- she lives in Lake, she lives in Longmire Lake, so.
So do we adjourn?
I thought we were gonna leave it open.
You're gonna leave it open, but you're gonna adjourn.
Got another meeting.
Just
You mean the next bill?
temporarily adjourn into the.
So I'll make a motion, we adjourn to the municipal authority.
Hold on a second. Yeah, you're on the next one.
Okay.
thought they forgot me.
No,
Yeah, no.
I'm sorry.
It's probably moved in second, who gets a second? She second.
I'll second it, I'll take it.
Probably moved in second to temporarily adjourn. Vice Mayor Meisel,
Yes.
Councilman Urschel,
Yes.
Councilman Grimmett,
Yes.
Councilwoman Ritchie,
Yes.
Mayor Rushing.
Yes. Item 2, call to order our municipal authority meeting. Chaz, if you'll reflect our roll call. Item 3, approval of the consent agenda, items A, B, and C.
Move for approval of the consent agendas, items A through C.
Second.
Probably moved in second to approve the consent agenda. Councilman Urschel,
Yes.
Councilwoman Ritchie,
Yes.
Councilman Grimmett,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Meisel,
Yes.
Mayor Rushing.
Trustee.
Trustees.
Trustees. We're in the list.
Say what?
We're trustees.
Trustees.
I'm sorry, trustees.
So, item 4, consideration of an address by Amber Benito regarding her water pressure at a residence with possible action.
Thank you so much. I moved into, good evening, and I'm gonna make this brief and factual. I'm here in good faith to share with what's going on in my neighborhood. I moved over at 108 East Agnew Avenue in Pauls Valley. I have a contract on that house, and I've noticed since I've been there, the water pressure is low. And one of the neighbors told me, he said, I've been telling the city about it for 3.5 years. And so I hired someone to go do a pressure test for me who used to run the water at Maysville. and the pressure showed 26 to 27 PSI. And my washing machine wouldn't run, or my dishwasher, and, so anyway, I called and I took some information, I didn't know who to give it to, I took it to, Mark Norman. I gave him all my information, and I asked him if he could help me. And about a month and a half later, I got back with him, and I had signed the paper downstairs to speak. And, he got the guys out there, 6 of them out there, they dug it up, fixed it. My water pressure was beautiful. Friday, had the best shower, and everything. Saturday morning, it went down. Okay, I live on the corner of Avenue and Santa Fe, and the street that runs all the way down in front of Tammy D's, Double Plain, all of it. At 629 Santa Fe, I walked down there today, there's water in 2 blocks. You can see it running out of the ground at 629 Santa Fe. And, I just want something done, I'm buying this house, you know? And I'm not trying to be difficult, but what can I do?
So you think the pressure now is bad because of the leak?
Yeah. I mean, it's.
So it got fixed once.
I can't even get water out of the shower head now.
Do we have any update on?
Yeah, Locate's been called in on it, I don't know if, they were called in on Sunday, so I don't know if all the other entities have been there to mark their locate or not.
So we're thinking if we fix the leak, it'll address the water pressure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
because
you know, another thing is,
Saturday
when they were
the water
fixing it, one of the guys said, this line is deteriorating.
Whole
So
town.
do we have plans? Well, see, they fixed mine and it goes out 2 blocks, it
That's
blows
the
out.
problem they've been running into all over town, you fix it here and it pops up over there, and you fix that, it pops up. It's just the line, that's to do about it.
Well, I just, is there any plan for that? And who do I get a hold of? Who do I talk to? You know, do I talk to?
I wouldn't want to speak for Joe, but he gave a good statistic that I've heard a few different times, that basically we have 28 miles of water and sewer
29 miles.
in the city. And that ideally, we should be replacing about, 1 mile a year
About a mile a
each
year.
at a cost of about, $750,000 a year. And so I think people are trying to figure out how do you do that, right? So that's the what, and I don't want to speak for Joe, but that's sort of what I've heard and what I understand.
So before you come up with something, basically $1 billion a year.
To replace
Replace it.
pipe, and then, but that's sort of the idea, that's what we need to get to, right? And so that's the what and how, right, is getting to that.
And right now, I think we're addressing what happens, the
Yeah.
blowout.
In pieces where places like.
Not proactive.
And we want to get proactive.
So,
All we can do now is be reactive, because there's not enough money to be proactive. Now, as you look forward, there's a certain number of sales tax, that roll off, potentially, for instance, the hospital, that, when they sold the hospital, they prepaid it. And so it pays off like in 32. That's 6 years away. But is that a cent or half cent?
It's an absent.
Half cent. So, that's gonna roll off, it has to stay for healthcare, but could we get that half cent, since we're used to paying it, we've been paying it for all these years, dedicated for that? That's
For infrastructure.
well, when they got there, I was very impressed. There were 6 guys there, they knocked it in the head. I mean, there was one down in water up to here. I had water pressure, I was thrilled, and then Saturday morning,
Yes, and top
and I called.
farther down, because I got called.
So Mark, we're waiting for Wioki and all those people to identify.
Who are we supposed to contact? Are we supposed, on the weekend, who are we supposed to get our hold of when we've got water
If-
problems?
Ma'am, if you will call the 911 comm center, the non-emergency line, they have the on-call water guys' numbers, and they will get a hold of somebody.
But you can get the app too. There's an app,
Oh, what is that?
My Civic Service, Halls Valley app.
You go like on your phone, the App Store, the Android Store, they have the actual app, just search for Paul Valley.
City of Paul's
City of Paul Valley.
Okay.
Cause I turn
And you
in
can
stuff all the
report
time.
issues on that.
Oh, you can.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
when
let's
you
do
go
that.
on to you'll see
I think
the city's logo, you can go to the app store and download it.
Okay,
I call the 911 number Mercy.
Yeah.
I would on Saturday, but you can't use that.
And then they're exactly right. If it's an emergency, don't put on that. Call 911 and tell them that, you have.
Don't call 911.
No, but I'm saying, if you're having something that's, you have water leaking in your house and you turn water off, or something major, that's why I'm saying emergency, not a police emergency.
Okay.
Call 911 and tell them you have a water leak, and you need to get on the first call, then they will respond quicker than I'll.
Don,
Don,
can
do you
you
wanna
give the
differentiate?
non-emergency?
238-9900.
238-9900.
Okay.
That would be the number.
And
I thought you said 1-9.
I thought you were saying
911
too.
He doesn't-
Non-emergency phone.
And we've talked about this
I didn't know it was.
before, where has that been publicized, just for her question, where can people report things in emergency situations?
We
Last
put it on, it's on Facebook.
Okay, it's
It's
on
on
our
Facebook,
website,
it's on
in the
website,
app,
it's-
it's anywhere and everywhere.
It's always been call the police department, because we have dispatch 24/7. If they call the police department.
Well, I know it has been, like I said, last time we talked about it, it hadn't been brought to anybody's attention, half the council didn't realize it, so I
If
wanna
they-
make sure it's out there in the public.
If they call the police department, even if they call after hours, that phone rolls over to the 911 center. That 911 center will either send an officer, and an officer will be able to get a hold of the on-call, or they'll call me and I'll get a hold of them, or comm center will get a hold of the on-call.
But if you report on that app, because I do it all the time, potholes, water leaks,
Oh,
it kicks me back that I've submitted an issue, and then when that issue is, and it kicks whatever department you're reporting it to, street department, water department, whatever your issue is, it kicks them an email saying there's a problem in this area. And then as soon as it's fixed, you get another email saying your problem has been resolved.
I wonder if maybe a little disclaimer on the bottom of our water bills that offers this phone number to tell someone to call when there's an emergency would be a good idea.
I'm not sure it's not.
I haven't seen it, but that doesn't mean it's not. I think we should go one step further.
We're on the website, just,
Yeah,
So is there a timeline for replacing any of these lines in town?
And we're working as much as we can. We did 1,300 feet this year. And, that's money that we're pulling out of reserves. The water lines have not been addressed in 20 years. And now it's just, and we are reactive, but we are working to be proactive. It's just fun.
Well, I appreciate your time very much. I just want to try to get this resolved because I'm investing in this house.
it's fair.
I'm in it.
Totally
and,
fair.
I would like to have
And you
someone.
should have, so, we
Thank you
appreciate it.
so much.
And then that's what we're saying, when you have these things, like I say, if we know about it, we get them on a list, our list is bigger. We try to get as quick as we can, but sometimes our list is bigger than we have approved.
Well,
Yeah,
when
we-
Johnny
we-
got up there,
I couldn't tell you today, but a few weeks ago, we had 173 water issues. So we had a crew of 6 trying to deal with 173 issues at one time.
well, I was impressed with them.
But you
Thank
do,
you.
And thank you for the kind post you posted
Well,
on.
I really, they were
Thank
good guys. Appreciate it.
We
so much.
appreciate you.
Appreciate you
Thank
being here.
Thank you, Mark.
is it not feeling like there's a million more water problems?
Yes.
this year? Or is it just that we know about it
No,
this
I
year?
think it's
It's more.
I
It seems like when you repair,
more pressure.
then just a little further down, it pops, as soon as,
Yeah.
Well,
and it's
and
been
I-
on a continuum.
where I live, I'm on the last tower you build. I have low water pressure all the time, and sometimes, within the last week, I've had 0 water several times. And
Yeah.
I just roll with
We've had water.
These people live next to me, they have water pressure. The catty corner across the street, they don't.
was
And then
just how it's
Garnet.
piped.
It's come from
Because
Peter
Garnet
Maxey.
doesn't
Yes.
have water pressure. She
It's
can't
how-
even shower right now. So,
So my house on the hill, everybody around me will be out of electricity. I'll be lit up like a Christmas tree. I mean, the whole hill will be out and I'll have it.
Yes.
Yeah, but you're Smith Falls on the three phase.
You got 3 fish in your mouth?
So this comes from a different place.
Well, you probably got a lot of good karma in your house.
Yeah.
Evidence.
Uh,
They did something.
Yeah, but it's all right. We have experienced more water like this year than we have. But we've also seen our, things are really getting where they're aged out. Every little problem becomes a big problem.
Well, and our crew is learning all the time, and that's a good thing too. I mean, it's sad that they have to do that.
And we've also had problems, if we have a problem, we don't know where our water lines are sometimes. We're out there trying to find water line just to make a repair, and when it pops up, wow, we didn't know the water line was here, we thought it was over there. It's a young, realistically, our oldest water crew has only been here 6 years. For a water system that's, we have water systems that are pushing 100 years.
I was reading an article not so long ago about cities, just like ours, older cities, small cities that are having the very same problems that we are. There just isn't funding on state or federal level for the infrastructure for the fixing
Yeah,
the.
last week y'all,
actual water
I went
lines.
to the water conference, and that's the biggest topic. How are we supposed to put infrastructure?
Aging
Yeah,
infrastructure.
aging infrastructure in smaller communities that it hasn't been addressed because of funding. And, we're not the only people. That's
A couple of years ago, our state legislators promised to set aside some money, and they did not do that. So we need to be speaking with our state legislatures.
And you find some of them, like Maysville just replaced a lot of water lines. Well, the stories are statewide, that there is a handful of cities that got the few grants that are available to put it in. It's just that the number of grants is so small compared to the number of cities in need.
Their situation was extremely dire, though.
There's some of them.
They had
We
fudge
think we're
going
bad,
on.
some of them are way worse than us. We are still flowing water. Some of them don't have any water flowing through the system.
And it's testing good.
So there are gentlemen looking at that area where,
Yes.
with Saturday where it was free flowing. All right. Item 5, consideration with possible action to acknowledge receipt of the Oklahoma Department of Environmental Quality permit number SL 00025260204 for the car wash project on West Grand.
This is just one more step that I have to go through so you guys can get started. Got the, thank y'all, I had a copy of the permit, but, also had a letter, DEQ was requiring council to just acknowledge the receipt of the permit, and so that it's in the minutes, for this sewer line extension. So they keep moving along.
So I will make a motion that we acknowledge the permit that's been issued. So we need, okay, make a motion.
One question, I'll second it, but one question. With the lift station issues that I've heard about from out that way, putting water through there, any concerns for that?
No, not with what he's told me.
I figure there's a lot of reclaimed
No,
water right
I
there.
can't remember the gallons per day cause he's going off some of the other ones.
But DEQ's not concerned, there's not anyone that's flagging that.
No.
No.
That's our problem. That's what they're gonna say.
I mean, we're gonna have to address that out there at some point because it's just gonna keep, that's where everything's gonna keep building. And, they're gonna have water, sewer water coming, into those lift stations. And that's one more thing on top of water lines is those lift stations out there. The lines that's coming in town are just not adequate. They're gonna have to be enlarged. So.
I'll second it.
Probably moving second to acknowledge
Thanks, Mark.
the DEQ permit. Councilman Grimm, or Trustee Grimmett?
Yes.
Trustee Herschel?
Yes.
Trustee Ritchie?
Yes.
Trustee Meisel?
Yes.
Chairperson Rushing?
Yes. Jay, can we now go to
Whether you want to adjourn this meeting and reopen the other one?
Do we need to finish, are we gonna go ahead and finish this meeting then?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and finish this meeting and go back.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
new business?
No comments.
Item 7, Trust manager comments.
None.
Item eight, trust attorney comment.
No comment.
Trustee comments. A motion to adjourn back into session.
So moved.
Second.
Probably moving second to adjourn this meeting and reopen the previous adjourned meeting. Trustee Meisel,
Yes.
trustee Grimmett,
Yes.
trustee Nerschel,
Yes.
trustee Ritchie, chairperson Rushing.
Yes.
Is that it?
I make a motion to go to executive session.
I'll second.
Probably moving second to go to executive session. Councilman Grimmett,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Meisel,
Yes.
Councilman Ritchie,
Yes.
Councilman Herschel,
Yes.
Mayor Rushing.
Yes.
Trustee
He's not the only, he's not the only. Yeah. He's got a board. They all-
I know, but I go in there and I feel like
And
I'm
I was at,
dealing with Mother Teresa at times. Oh, yeah, well, he doesn't.
Y'all survived to the end, huh?
But it's still, yes.
Now we have to. Really, people are thinking.
Yes, but he does present himself as a. One step away from Jesus Christ. What else? Okay, I make a motion to return.
Second.
One move second that we return to regular session. Vice Mayor Meisel,
Yes.
Councilman Marshall,
Yes.
Councilman Grimmett,
Yes.
Councilwoman Ritchie,
Yes.
Mayor Rushing.
Yes.
we need a motion
I will so move for that as well.
Second.
Probably move second to adjourn. Vice Mayor Meisel,
Yes.
Councilwoman Ritchie,
Yes.
Councilman Marshall,
Yes.
Councilman Grimmett,
Yes.
Mayor Rushing.
to, yes.